Hi, this is Edith, Educational Technologist at Oregon Tech. In this video, I'm going to go over the PowerPoint options menu. And so where you would find that is in your file. Let's go back here. So you go to File and then Options. And you will get this screen here. And this is where you're just going to change your defaults. So anything that you do here is going to affect all your new documents that you're going to create in PowerPoint. So I do have Show Mini Toolbar on selection, so that's this here. Enable Live Preview, so I can watch how something might affect how my presentation looks. Screen tip style, you can show feature descriptions and screen tips. You don't have to. Show features and screen tips, or just don't show screen tips. I leave the default. It's fine. Sometimes I do like having them pop up and, oh, by the way, did you know you can do this? This is where you can also set your default programs. So say if you're not sure if Microsoft PowerPoint has all its defaults, you can click on this and it'll give you this message and you just say, okay, it should open up default program for you, which it's not doing. So you would just go into your start settings. I think they said systems. Yeah, default apps. So this is where you would go in and you can change your default applications. Or you can have it tell you that it's not the default program for viewing and editing presentations. Show the start screen. I covered that in the overview video. It's the screen that you will get if you want to do a new presentation. This is the start screen. I do like to keep that on just because it's nice to be able to see the templates instead of going into creating a PowerPoint and then not having the templates and having to bring them in afterwards. So sometimes I want to see it beforehand. Enable PowerPoint Designer. Well, I have no idea what this is, so we can find out what it is. Maybe I do want to enable it. So PowerPoint Designer is a service that takes your content and automatically generates a variety of ideas you can choose from to make your slides look better. Well, that's a personal choice. So why not? I mean, maybe they have something that you did not think about. Real-time collaboration. This is like, as it says, working with others. Everything gets automatically saved. Again, I'm going to stress, make a copy of your original document, especially if you're sharing a document or you're making some major changes and you're not sure you want to keep them. If you have a copy of your original document, you're more likely to feel a little bit more confident about making changes. And then if you make changes and you save them and it was really not what you meant for it to happen, at least you have an original copy. You can also go back and do find a earlier version, but I always find that having a copy is just beneficial to me, and so that's why I stress it is I want to recommend that you just kind of keep that in mind, to just have a copy. When you're done, you can always delete it afterwards, but at least if you make these huge changes and you're like, God, this was just horrible, I just wish I could go back to my original document. At least you already have a copy of it without having to go find an old version. Proofing, autocorrect. Everybody loves autocorrect. You don't have to have it turned on. I do leave it turned on because I do make a lot of errors, especially the two initial capitals. There's different actions you can take, and you can do a math autocorrect. When you're correcting, ignore words in uppercase. I would recommend keeping that on, especially in PowerPoint, because of a lot of titles that you might use within the slide presentation. Ignore words that contain numbers. These are the defaults. This is what Microsoft sets as its defaults. So you may have, later with the number 8 and an R, just to show it that way. So you can actually ignore those words so that it doesn't recognize it as a spelling error. I probably shouldn't check it because I have a tendency to hit my number keys while I'm typing and not meaning to. Ignore internet and file addresses just as it says. Flag repeated words. Yeah, I would leave that in there, just because, sometimes you might not realize that you're typing it twice. So, it's just little things to help you keep a nice presentation going. Of course, you got custom dictionaries, and if you're French and Spanish modes. When correcting spelling in PowerPoint, so you want to check it as you go along. Hide spelling and grammar errors, that's your choice. And check grammar with spelling, I would like to do that. So I can just say go ahead and put that in there. Saving, this is where you can choose the location for saving. So I have an auto recover for every 10 minutes. I prefer 5. It's just that it will save your document every 5 minutes. I wouldn't recommend going over 10, but that way, if you do make changes or power flux happens and you made a change, this will save it for you. And then hopefully the next time you open it, those changes have been made, especially if they're ones you worked a lot on. So my other recommendation is definitely keep saving your document. But you can also set in here how often you want to save the document. And this is where the auto recover location is. Please don't change that, because that's where, if you can't find something, you call me or somebody from ITS. This is where we're going to look for it. Don't show background stage when opening and saving files. So basically, you won't get a dialog box showing up. Show additional places for saving, even if my sign-in may be required. That is mostly like for Microsoft accounts, and you can check it, uncheck it. It's up to you. I don't have a preference on that I would suggest anything otherwise. I have saved to default, saved to computer by default. If you uncheck this should go to, if you have this unchecked, and you can have this unchecked, but if it's unchecked, make sure that it's saving to your OneDrive. So that would be this right here, because that's going to save it to your cloud account. I like my things saved to my desktop or to my computer because I will be accessing it straight from my computer, and I don't always want it online. And it's a preference. Again, you can anywhere, any of these things are a preference. You don't have to follow my rules or my choices, because this is what I choose for me. I'm just telling you this is how you can make these changes. Offline editing options for document management server files. So save checked out files too. So this works with SharePoint. Again, we don't have SharePoint quite ready yet. I do have access to a SharePoint, and that's why have this available to me. You may have this available to you as well. But again, just if it's not checked, don't worry about it at this point. You can also embed fonts into this file. So basically this, if you create a document and you want those specific those fonts, except for TrueType and OpenType fonts, it will show up the fonts to anybody who has a copy of this document, because it embeds the fonts into the document and makes it part of the document. Whereas if you don't have that checked and somebody else doesn't have that font installed, they're not going to see it the same way as you saw it, or anticipating them to see it. Language, again, this is just the default. Of course, we're English. You can add languages, especially if you're going to be talking with people outside of English speaking. This is where you can add other languages, and you have all of these choices here. Advanced options, editing. So when selecting, automatically select the entire word. These are also defaults set out by Microsoft. I have not changed them. I don't change them. But this is where you can change them. Allow text to be drag and dropped. So most of your text on the documents are going to be in a text box, so that's just something you probably want to allow. Do not automatically hyperlink screenshot. So that's if you have something off site that you pulled off the internet, you can remove the hyperlink without having it show up every time. maximum number of undos. So if you're somebody like me and you make a lot of changes and then you want to undo them because you didn't like any of them, you can go up to, I'm sure, more than 20. I don't know why you would want to do more than 20 changes and undo them. But also understand any time that you save your document, whether it's Control S, clicking on here, or clicking File Save, the undos will only go from that point of saving. Okay, so if you've saved the document and then you haven't made any changes, you will not have any undos available to you because you've saved the document and told PowerPoint you're happy with the way it is right now. Use Smart Cut and Paste and Show Paste option button when content is pasted. So let's go ahead and so say I want to copy and paste this, so I can copy it, and then this is where I have my paste options. I have more than one paste option. So I can use the destination theme, or I can use a picture. So that's all that is about, is, your pasting options there. And this is if you have a touch window pen, use the pen to select and interact with content by default. You may be very good with the pen and you prefer to use it over your mouse, so this is where you would check it for that. Image size and quality. Okay, so it's looking at this document, but if I had another document, which like I have presentation 1, I can choose between the two. Discard editing data. So let's see what that would do. Deletes data which is used to restore edited pictures to their original state. Okay. So this is for pictures, and do not compress images in file. I would leave this unchecked as well, because especially if you're going to be emailing the document, you may want the pictures to compress because it'll make the document smaller. Properties follow chart data point for all new presentations. Custom formatting and data labels follow data points as they are moved or changed within the chart. Yeah. Current presentation properties follow data chart for current presentation. Display this number of recent presentations. I don't ever need 50 shown. So I can change this. You can either change it with your, highlight it, or you can change it with the buttons here. Quickly access this number of recent presentations. If you do a lot of presentations, I would recommend to go ahead and check that. Show this number of unpinned recent folders, 50. Again, I think that's too high, but you may find that you want 50. I do like showing the ruler. It is not showing up here, but if you have a vertical ruler, it will show up there. Disable hardware graphics acceleration. You never need to worry about that. It's just, if you're having graphic issues. Automatically extend display when presenting on a laptop or a tablet. This is so like on your screen, you would have perhaps this part of the presentation and it will have your notes and everything like that, and then somebody on the and then on the second monitor it would be the presentation that perhaps you're showing your students, like when you're using the projector and your laptop together or computer together. It will show this on one screen and the presentation on another screen. Definitely your choice. You may not need to have your notes, or you just want it to extend. Not extend, you can disable it right here. Show presence flags for selected items. I imagine that's gonna, let's say, okay. So I couldn't tell you what that's doing, so we'll leave it at that. I guess it's something to play with on that note. Slideshow, show menu on the right click. Show pop-up toolbar. That's that toolbar that I showed in the overview, so that when you're in the full screen mode here, you'll get this here. Okay, and then options. Show start screen when the application start. Oh, sorry. Let's go back here. prompt to keep ink annotation when exiting. So if you're going to annotate on the document and you're doing a presentation, and you've inked on it, you took your pen and you wrote on it, and if you have a touch screen, or you do something with your mouse and you want to keep that annotation, you can leave this on and it will prompt you to save it. Again, if you want to save it and you don't want to destroy the original document, save it as a copy, just change the name or add number 1 to it. And end with a black slide so that, it's the end of the end of the presentation. Print in the background, print true type fonts as graphics. So you have all of these options available for printing. This is just so that it's not affecting anything. You'll hit print and then it'll start printing and you'll get back to the main screen here. And then you can use the most recently used print settings, or always use these print settings here. And then general, provide feedback with sound or chat. I don't ever leave this on because I really do not like when I make an error, my computer dinging at me. One of those things that probably just upset my world for whatever reason. I don't need to be reminded I made a mistake. And show add-in user interface errors. So if you have add-ins and there's problems, it's going to show up there. You can customize your toolbar. So let's say I want to add a new group. I can actually add a new group and add things in there, and I can format and say, just add it. So now it's in my new group here. I don't know that it's something that necessarily needs to be done. If you use a tool that's not available in your toolbar up here, then I would recommend it and, go ahead and put it in. Quick access toolbars, this little guy up here, like I showed you earlier. I can actually add little things to it and say okay, and then when I close out of here, I'm going to say okay, you're going to see the bullets show up there as well. So you can put anything basically on that toolbar that you want. That's quick and easy access. Mostly, as you can see, I do save, undo, redo, and those are the ones I use the most, and the start from beginning slideshow, because I do like to have the slideshow up there so it's quick and easy, although it is down here as well, but I have a tendency to go up to the top. Add-ins, again, these are things that are available to you. If you're unsure about add-ins, please don't add them. If you have questions, please let me know, and or the ITS help desk, they'll be glad to help you with getting add-ins, recommending add-ins, or helping you install add-ins for your PowerPoint. And then the Trust Center, you don't need to do anything here. It's just here. This is something that's maintained by ITS. And then I could just say okay. And that's basically the file tab. So if you have any questions, comments, feedback, suggestions, please contact me, edis.warden@oit.edu, extension 51730, and you can find me in the Skype. Just type my name, Edis Warden, in the Skype directory line, and you should be able to find me, so you can IM me or video conference with me. Thank you and have a great day.